This is the fastest selling Range Rover of all time. Well, not this vehicle specifically, but the Range Rover Evoque is the fastest selling Range Rover of all time. So no pressure then for this vehicle in terms of the impact it has to make. It has to be an exceptional SUV, as any Range Rover is, but it also has to move the game forward for the brand globally. So Car Advice is at the launch of the all-new Range Rover Evoque in Greece. Let's take a look at what makes the new Range Rover Evoque tick. Crucial to any Range Rover product, anything with a Range Rover badge, is the cabin, that premium feeling that they seem to do so well, and the cabin ambience in general. Now, there's a couple of points here to mention that I think are really significant for this new Evoque. There's this three-tiered display system that they have. So you've got the driver's display here, which is interactive, not traditional gauges like they used to be. This beautifully crisp screen here that we're using for sat-nav, and then the third tier down here, which is all the vehicle settings, seat settings, climate control, off-road modes, all of those different features are displayed here. What I think they've done though with the Evoque is lifted the level of premium in the cabin and lifted the fit and finish and the sense of premium within the cabin to an area that probably is befitting of a much more expensive Range Rover. So Jerry McGovern said to us during the presentation, Jerry, the lead designer, said that, you know, a lot of modern buyers don't necessarily want animal products, for example. They don't want leather on their seats, and they want to buy a car or a vehicle, an SUV, that reflects their personal values. So this one we're sitting in now has this kind of recycled seat material or environmentally sustainable seat material rather than the traditional animal products. And the trick for Range Rover is making that non-premium material, so not leather, feel as if it's premium. I think they've done a great job of that with the Evoque, and I think that'll set a trend for all the other Range Rover models that follow up the food chain that are a lot more expensive. I really believe this new Evoque sets a whole bunch of new standards for the segment. It drives really nicely, obviously, but it sets a bunch of standards for the segment in terms of fit, finish, ambience, the quiet in the cabin, very quiet inside the cabin, comfortable and really well built. So I think Range Rover have done an amazing job of redesigning the cabin of what was an already popular vehicle. First up, we sampled the R-Dynamic S P250, which offers up 183 kilowatts and 365 newton meters from its 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine. Not as punchy as we find the diesel to be the next day, the petrol engine still sings to redline cleanly without any drop-off in power delivery. It will scoot from 0 to 100 kilometres an hour in 7 seconds, and the combined fuel use claim on the Euro cycle is 7.9 litres per 100 kilometres. The next day we move into the 177 kilowatt and 500 newton metre SD240 variant with its 2-litre 4-cylinder diesel engine, which both feels and sounds punchier than the petrol. 0 to 100 kilometres an hour is dispatched in 7.7 seconds, however, while the fuel use is a claimed 6.2 litres per 100 kilometres. The slower sprint time indicates that the extra punch we seem to feel through the seat of the pants is quite possibly the strength of the diesel engine's mid-range once you're rolling up to and past 100 kilometres an hour. While the outgoing Evoque did indeed ride well, this new model feels more comfortable, more insulated and quieter from behind the wheel. In fact, it's that sensation of quiet that's a real standout for me. Rolling along the highway at 130 kilometres an hour, there's hardly even any wind noise that enters the cabin. We tested both standard non-adaptive and optional adaptive dampers at launch, and both platforms rode and handled capably. There were some properly twisty mountain roads on the launch drive outside Athens, and the steering felt sharp. There was no nasty tendency to understeer when pushed harder, and the all-round balance was impressive. So there you have it, the all-new 2019 Range Rover Evoque. This is a really important vehicle for the company globally, and as I said in the intro, it's got a whole bunch of things it has to live up to in addition to moving the game forward. Now, you're going to read plenty of stuff from us about all the clever tech, see-through bonnet, clever rear view mirrors, premium cabins, eucalyptus trim, special leather, all that kind of stuff. But there's one factor I've really noticed more than any other, and that's the quiet and insulation in the cabin. Right now we're doing 120 on the motorway, and it's really, really quiet in here, and I think that brings with it a real sense of premium. That's what it's about, and that's important in this segment. Now, if you talk to Land Rover Australia, they'll tell you that 26 variations actually make some kind of sense, and I guess it does when you think that the old Evoque used to have 52, believe it or not. So they've reduced the number, and that should make it easier for you to decide which Evoque is the one for you. We can't wait to test it on local roads. We can't wait to get one in the Car Advice garage. It goes on sale in May this year, so stay tuned to caradvice.com and we'll keep you updated with all the details.